So this is the last part of homework assignment 2. Question number 8 says a pitcher requires about 0.5 seconds to throw a baseball. If the ball leaves his hand with a speed of 50 meters per second, what is the ball's average acceleration? So we're looking for average acceleration. We know acceleration is change in velocity over some time, and then it says leaves his hand with a speed of 50. What is the ball's acceleration? And so we go from 0 speed to 50 meters per second, and this 0 to 50 meters per second takes place during 0.5 seconds, right? So that gives us 50 over 0.5, and then acceleration turns out to be 100 meters per second squared. I would like you to understand that accelerations, units for acceleration is actually whatever the time is actually squared. If it's meters per second, then that is for velocity or speed. Okay? So that's question number 8. Question number 9, it says an object is dropped off a building. Here is the building. These are the windows. How far will the object fall during the next 4 seconds? So it's dropped from here, from the building. If it says it's dropped, it means that we're not throwing it down. It's just dropped from rest, from velocity equals 0. After 4 seconds, we know the velocity is 40 meters per second. So we ended up with 40 meters per second. Now, average velocity, because velocity was, changing during this whole time. If you are solving for distance, which is related to velocity in this fashion, knowing that time was 4 seconds, therefore, because here you have to put one number for velocity, and here the velocity is changing all the time from 0 to 40 within 4 seconds, therefore you need to solve for average velocity to be fair on the number for velocity that you put in here. So average velocity means second and last over 2. 40 plus 0 over 2, that gives you 20 meters per second. Then you put in 20 meters per second equals x over 4 seconds, and then you solve for the x, and that turns out to be 80 meters, the height of the building. Okay? Excuse me. So that's how you solve for the height of the building, knowing that, it accelerates because of Earth, and by 10 meters per second squared. In the meantime, I would like to actually do one more problem, and just emphasizing on the fact that how we convert things. If I ever tell you to convert 40 kilometers per hour to some miles, not per hour, but per second, then please make sure that you understand all of these things. So you go from kilometers to miles. We know miles are bigger chunks and kilometers are the smaller chunks, right? So conversion factor from kilometers to miles here, small to big, it is division, and the conversion factor is actually 1.6. So you have to divide by this number in order to go from kilometers to miles. And for hours to seconds, we are going from higher to downstairs. So, and the conversion factor is multiplication by 3600, right? So let's just do this. We say 40 kilometers per hour. And so kilometers to miles, the number is divided by 1.6, and then hours to seconds, 1 hour, right? 1 hour to seconds is 3600, and then we do the math, right? So that becomes 40 over 1.6 over 3600. If you want to do this math, then you just need to give this a denominator of 1, and then you do this 40 times 1 over 1.6 times 3600. The 0 cancels out with this one. This decimal place cancels out with that one. 4 cancels out with 9. Then you end up with 16 times 9 and whatever that number is. It should be around 150. It should be 154 actually. So yeah, try not to use calculator. This way it's, you can just do it in your head and you would be proud of yourself, right? Like that. Anyhow, so that gives you miles per second. So this is miles per second. So the gist of what I'm saying is that please make sure what you are converting to what. It's not all the time kilometers per hour to miles per hour. It could be miles per second. It could even be miles per minute. So make sure where you are going, like the kilometers per mile, kilometers to miles, hours to seconds, and you just do the conversions, based on the conversion factors that you have. And then I'll show you this once again. And this is how you do it. Okay. So that is that. The other thing I would like to stress once more, basically, is the fact that, for acceleration, because it's changing velocity over some time, depending on what units for velocity you have, maybe it's even miles per minute. It depends on the question, right? And maybe time is in seconds. So then the answer that you get for your acceleration would be miles per minute per second. We call it per minute per second because in the denominator we have like two separate things. This is how we say it verbally. So we say miles per minute per second. This is a little like saying that, we use this little dot shape thing so that we say we're, multiplying things. So, like I said, don't freak out. Whatever you have in terms of the units for velocity and time, those things decide what the unit is for acceleration. So now, if you would like, you can convert miles to meters, minutes to seconds, and the second is already there. Okay? That's pretty much it. You just know everything by now, and if you have any other questions, just email me, okay? Good luck for your test. Bye-bye.